Okay. So today's going to be a bit more focused because we got past the learning curve or relearning curve with Unity's uh, serialization solution. So it's about architecture at the end of the day is what I was trying to figure out. Like I said a few days ago, at some point I'm going to have to learn or relearn how Unity wants to handle serialization. And this is partially because it just had been so long since I had done it before. Um, and I just didn't want to open up old script to see what I was doing. But even so, I think it's a good thing to have to go through the learning pains um, and just figuring it out again. Now I understand exactly what they want, and I get it. They're going to be making an architecture that's supposed to be very simple, but um, what I like to think is my best practice, or the thing that I'm good at, is turning very complicated structures into very simple structures. Um, so we know that we're going to be having a ton of different characters, a ton of different things that need to be saved. So we're going to be handling that, and we're going to be handling that using um, some basic, uh, good to follow coding practices. Let's start. So first things first, we're going to get rid. Sorry, we're going to be getting rid of the stuff. None of this is needed anymore. Yeah, we can get rid of this. I think we can get rid of game data. Let's get rid of game data. Probably going to give us some errors, but we need to get rid of them. Because I think we had quite a few things that were linking into game data. And really, I don't think it's needed. For what we're going to be making, we're going to be making one, two, three different classes. Oh, no errors. Maybe everything was inside of game data. So the first thing we're going to be making is a script. We're going to call this one game file. Not sure why my IDE keeps wanting to open up, but whatever. I'm not doing that. My IDE just keeps randomly opening whenever I create a new C# class. Okay, the next one is going to be the character file. Yes, my IDE has decided that, let me see, maybe there's something that needs to be closed here. We can get rid of this one. Oh, we're also going to be going back into that serialization, and we're going to be incorporating a more automated method for handling serializing. Because that's going to come back later in the rest of the architecture. But it just makes sense to take care of it. Oh, okay. Yeah, here we go. Game data. All right, maybe now it'll stop doing that. Settings. File. Nope, it still is just randomly opening up. Next. And I think this is going to be the final script.
Hello, hello, baby, you're cold, I can't hear a thing. I have got no service in the club, you say. What did you say? Oh, you're breaking up on me. Sorry, I
We have the character file,
I'm kinda busy.
game file, settings file. Okay, good. And the last one is going to be, I believe it's going to have to be a static class. It's going to be let's call this one save system. Okay, I'm gonna just close the IDE altogether. Maybe that'll get it to stop, because it's a little annoying to have it keep popping up whenever I create a new C# class. Okay, there we go. So this is just going to be Coco. Pick one.
Sometimes I feel like I live in Grand Central Station. Tonight I'm not taking no calls, cause I'll be dancing.
Should we make this a static class? I think we should just... No, we're not going to make this a static class. There's no reason to. We're going to make this a mono behavior. We might not make it a mono behavior. I'm not sure yet. But we're going to give it a singleton. Actually, make this a persistent singleton. Okay. So this is different than a regular singleton. Basically, it'll delete anything else in the scene. And it'll create its own game object and exist wherever it needs to. All right. Sorry. Um, okay. Sorry. Character file. What did I miss? Eh? What's happening in a way? I just do regular instant. Same thing. Weird. Alright, let's do it a different way. Maybe I'm not on my game. Oh no. Hey, King's Move. Thank you for joining, man. Hopefully it's informative. But thanks for being here. Have you seen what I've gotten working? The procedural world and whatnot? Uh, PC Work Radio. Let me see if I have a running game. I could just show you what I've been up to. Thank you so much, man. Where is this thing? Unity is doing its thing in the back. There we go. In the background. We have a bunch of warnings. Oh, yeah, that's fine. We'll fix those, and that's just because we're working on stuff. So it's gonna take a sec because, well, I think I already disabled the free movement, but I can do like my regular movement. So, but it's an entire world with polar regions. So if I keep going north or south, we'll end up in like the Arctic areas. Obviously we got pathing done. I had to create a whole new system, so I couldn't use Unity's nav mesh solution, which sucked. But we made a different system using A-Star, which is pretty cool. So the idea, I'm pretty sure you've seen like the part where I was like fighting monsters and whatnot. There's a short that I did on it. So the idea is there's going to be like each one of these tiles is a larger area, obviously, than it represents. So you'll be able to enter these tiles and go explore and fight those monsters and stuff like that. Pretty much, yeah. Right now it's really, I haven't worked on the camera for this yet, so this is still using the dungeon character's camera. But we're just, right now I'm working on building out a data structure because I want to build a skill tree. Like one of the things that I've always wanted to just get done in one of these games is a skill tree. I want to build it out. I want to build it. I think once I do that, I'll feel satisfied enough to just go back into doing more gameplay related stuff. But the procedural this took like a week to do. So this took a lot of time for me. And it's still not 100%, but it's mostly done. It's going to take me very long time to go all the way to the north. This is a fairly large map, so I'm not going to like go all the way. I was just going to show you. I mean, I could do it this way, I think. But it's going to be glitchy when I do it this way because it's going to be loading way too fast. But it is what it is. Alright, where's the player? There he is. it's going to be a little bit glitchy because I have it on running on 2 screens at the same time, and it's going to be loading a little bit too fast. That's fine. Let's give it time to catch up. There we go. Obviously, this won't happen when you're actually playing the game because you don't move 100,000 miles per second. Right. But you can see already some of the polar. Oh no, that's just snow caps. Oh. There we go. So you'll tell right away when we're getting into the colder regions. You see like that area over here where the water is changing colors. Now, I could make it load faster, but I found that this is like a good speed for it. Yeah, each one is a different biome being generated. So I put in over here a seed. This is the Michael Jordan seed. And it'll generate the world. Like if I change this, let's go out here. I'm going to start it up one more time so you can just see what the Michael Jordan one looks like again. I like the Michael Jordan one. That's the reason why I kept it like that. But okay, so this is what Michael Jordan looks like, right? Should be there-ish. So now let's change it to Michael Jackson. And let's see what it looks like. I have no clue what's going to happen. I haven't used Michael Jackson in a while. It could be a desert biome. It could be the same biome. It could be a forest. I don't know. Okay. Same temperate biome. But you can see right away now we have more water here. Give me a name. What type of biome do you want? Elvis. Oh, you could just use Elvis. That's what we get. We've got mostly mountains with Elvis. King's move? I spelt it the way you spelt it in chat, so let's see what happens. I don't have lava regions in this, so the closest thing to that we have is deserts. I didn't put lava. I should put lava. I have... It's easy enough to do it. I could do it. I just didn't want to because I wasn't too happy. So we have some forests over here. And looks like we have some deserts over there. Hold on. Where is it? Player. There we go. So we got some small patches of desert. We have some patch of forest over here. Give it a second to load in. Looks like we have like patches of different things going on here. Let's go closer to the equator. We should see like hotter terrain over there. So that's probably where we're going to find more deserts and things. Well, then again, I think the planet's this planet or this world's temperature is actually pretty low. So the fact that we even saw one desert is pretty crazy. Even desert jungle shouldn't be too often. It looks like they're popping up jungles. They're gonna pop up way more often in warmer in areas that should be warmer. All right, cool beans. Oh, that looks nice over there. Let's go down and visit. This is cool. You know, it's nice when you see stuff. This is the part of game dev that's like awesome, but it's dangerous because I could spend an hour just goofing around, like testing out what this thing can do and like what it'll generate, and get zero work done. But I haven't built in locations yet for this. I'm going to have it. I've been thinking about like how I want it to handle locations and things like that. Looks like we caught a debug, an errant debug. Let's see if I can get rid of that. Didn't have any debugs running. There we go. Okay. Yeah, yeah, some mix of lush and softer terrain too. I'll be back soon, brother. My dog's giving me guilt fit. I hear you. That's awesome. Where were we? Save system. Okay. Or, you know, we'll just name it like this. All right. So in theory, what should happen is we're going to call save character. We pass through the character file that we want to. Let's run ourselves through this. We go through the splash screen, start the game. Game already should have the game file and the settings file on the save system. So when this loads in, the prefab of it is going to be what's loaded in, ideally, and it needs to have this. Right? Or, hear me out. Or, since this is a mono behavior, we can check if the game file is empty or not, and then we can have a constant for where the game file is supposed to be saved. Inside of game file itself. So we could set the path to being a constant. Right? And so on creation, when we'll do that, we don't want to serialize the path. I think we should probably do it here. Oh, I think we can't do that.
My heart rages around like an ocean in my head because there are so many things that I left unsaid. I can almost feel you walking in the distance, but I know that is not reality. If you are echoing around inside these parallel dimensions all alone, know I'll find you in my dreams.
Just trying to remember how this is supposed to be.
My heart rages around like an ocean in my head.
Hey, welcome back.
I can
I'm just trying to wrap up a very simple way of handling a save load system across a very complicated data structure. Um, by complicated, what I mean is this is a, as you saw, big world, lots of NPCs, lots of data that needs to be saved. So for like the characters, I might need to make a callback system for tracking the updated information.
almost feel you walking in the distance, but I know that is not reality.
Well, I did this in Godot before. And so what broke my mind when I did it in Godot, or when I came back to Unity, uh, and this is what made me put a pause on this project in January also, is I got used to the Godot way of doing it, and my brain would not let me understand Unity's way of doing it. And by far, Unity's way is very simple compared to Godot's. Just far, far, I dare say, superior. So think of it like this in GDScript, where you have to do dictionaries, or where it's more intuitive to use a dictionary to save. Unity is doing black magic behind the scenes, kind of, by using these serialized fields. So to make it super simple, this is just a singleton, very top level. I could almost get away with making this a static class kind of object, right? And then we're going to have in this game, there's going to be multiple characters you can make, and each one of them would have their own world type of situation going on for them, that you generate for. So the character file is going to have that character has all of the NPCs in their world inside of the entity man. This is just one example. This is going to be populated with various other managers that are serializable. Entity manager, right, is not a regular, is not a this is a single player game, correct? The entity manager is not going to have, or rather, it has here, this still needs work because I'm going to be creating a serialized dictionary in a second. But basically, it's going to read this and then repopulate this. So Unity will, by default, when you deserialize something back, it will create objects back to the things by what, because this is statically typed, it knows what type this is to some effect, and it'll attempt to populate back up the dictionary that way with all of the entities. Now this is just the data inside, right? So it won't instantiate mono behaviors and then stuff like that. I have to actually do all of that effectively. So now if I go down a couple levels, this is what I was testing out yesterday because I just needed to get my head around it. Anything marked with public or serializable, like this stuff, things like that, will be serialized when I call save, and will be deserialized back to when I call load. Right? So in a way, it's actually simpler than Godot's. With Godot, you'd have to pass back in, like what I was trying to do here. You can see my GD script kicking in right here, where I'm passing back in stuff to go work its way back down and stuff like that. But you don't need to do all of this. Unity's handling that just by calling it and marking these as either public or serialized, whatever, serialized field. Which is scary to me, and I didn't want to trust it, which is why I was doing all of this, because I didn't trust Unity to properly deserialize. But if that's... it does. I don't know if... I tested it, I'll show you where I tested it yesterday. In my stat tracker... oh no, actually it was over here. So, over here I just tied it to my right mouse button and middle mouse button click. These two things. I just kept adding this value, and then I'd middle mouse click and it loaded. So basically it would save the information here. Right? This is the saving process, turning it into a JSON. And then I just read what was on the JSON. And it read perfectly fine. What was inside of the game stats class. This. So all I did was I passed in the class's reference. JSON handled the conversion of the class to a string, and then read it off like this. Now, I think... oh, come on, don't blow smoke. I'm no genius, brother. Thank you, though. But, so like here, it's doing the same thing. So I'm going to be making... you see the process that I'm going through here? So you can serialize lists, but you you cannot you can serialize lists, but you can't serialize a dictionary, which is the opposite of Godot. Godot you can serialize dictionaries, and that threw me for a loop. GDScript broke my brain. I'm going to put it that way. Um, so I just kept trying to figure out how to do this. So I came up with a game plan yesterday on how to create a serialized dictionary, and that will basically just run two lists concurrently. So that's what I'm planning on doing after I finish setting up the top level stuff in Save System. How so? What do you mean? After all is said and done, though, you can use all this to debug your game from within the game, too. I mean, debugging is not difficult. I debug all the time. I'm not sure the perspective that you're coming at with that comment. Okay. So now we're just trying to remember how to load. Okay, there we go. That should be it. All this, like, if you really wanted to, you could create a UI, so map and art stuff out from inside the game using your. Sorry, my voice to text is brutal. Remember debug mode from Sonic 2 back in the 90s? Trying to explain something like. If you mean like a console menu, is that what you mean to say? I mean, there's nothing really stopping. So, yes, the short answer to that is yes. You could do that with any game. Really, you wouldn't have to follow this structure at all. This doesn't like make it easier or harder to do that. All right, so in this case, we want to call invoke on character save, and then we want to handle as in the path. And here, opposite handle look character. I think this needs to go above the. No. This needs to go before this. So by the serial, are you talking about the serialized dictionary? That's. Oh, I see. You're talking about the entities dictionary. Is that what you mean? Like being able to access all? Yeah, that's usually how you want to design stuff, though. That's just the manager class. So if you've designed your project with an architecture around managers, so if you've ever played like a great example of this would be like Arkham Asylum. If you've ever played, or even Assassin's Creed, if you play those games and you notice that the enemies don't all just do their own random things, like in a lot of games you'll just see enemies will run at you and attack and things like that, but these enemies, they seem to operate in a way that they kind of are not all just going to gang up on you and attack randomly and do weird things. It almost feels like you're in a movie, right, where things are more coordinated. That's because they're all registered to, typically they're registered to a combat manager, and that combat manager is actually what's saying, hey, you know, this guy, it's your turn to attack. Hey, you got your attack in, back off next, and then it just like it'll, however you wanted to design it, it will iterate through all of the participants in the combat, find out who's in what position. You could even make it so that way like an enemy will favor being behind the player, and so the combat manager will check like enemy preference to find out what the preference is, and if it's in a good preference, it will prioritize that one for the next queue in who gets to attack and things like that. Yeah, in a way, like a hive mind sort of thing. And you could once you, it's like one of those things where once you see it, you can't unsee it. Because so now, like in any game that I play, and I know that system, and I just see it, and I'm like, yeah, we know exactly what's happening under the hood there. Right? And you can tell the games that aren't using it as well, because the enemies are kind of just spastastic. They will mob you. Like, you know, Vampire Survivors has no real reason to be using that kind of system, for example. Though they use a different system. They don't have, like, everything in Vampire Survivors is logged in also, right? But generally they're not, it's not that deep. It's more like what I did with the entity. Less combat related, just more tracking all of the enemies are there, so it knows to spawn these enemies at this time, things. Yep, basically. Shadows of Mordor for sure. Yeah. Listen, you can get away with puns over the internet. It's a wild wild west out here. Okay, so this should be a, and we can do this one. Okay. So now we can do this. What am I doing? There we go. All right, there we go. How I look at skill tech trees ain't even the same anymore after this comp. We're getting there. We have to get this. So when you're making an RPG, I think for me it's more convenient to build out your save system first. That way you have this behind you. When I was making that project in January, I had no real intention of taking it to completion as a game. It was really just to, as I kept on saying, remind myself how to do Unity, because I was doing Godot for almost a year. I forgot a lot of Unity stuff. So I took the opportunity also to do Unity even better than I did it before. And was writing. I learned a whole bunch of new approaches. Like let's go over here. This one is my baby right now. Well, I shouldn't say that. I should say, so I can do something like this. There we go. So I can do something like this, which will convert this position in vector 3 to a consistent integer representation of this. That's unique. That exists inside of a, I think it's a 24-bit hex map, which is for the PC very fast to operate with, and then tied that into a library and that's what makes the procedural world. The references in the procedural world not create stutters, or it just uses less time on the CPU to handle lookups using an integer, and instead of a vector 3. And then what makes that even better is we can serialize the integer. And that's awesome, because now we can serialize the entire world's position through integers and then convert them back to vector 3s by doing that. And that'll just convert this right back to vector 3.0. Which is just, to me, that was awesome. So that was my first interaction. Where is it? Yeah, that was my first interaction with Bitwise, which is just, like, awesome. This is just hex math, but where is it? I think I passed it. Oh, I think, yeah, so this is Bitwise right here, but I think I deleted the... Oh, there it is. I deleted the other stuff. But it was just a small optimization that I'm going to carry with me through all of my different projects for how to handle serializing vectors. Vector 3s. Thinking about digging up old projects now. Yeah, I think Godot 4.4, when I looked at it, it looks really like, if that's what you're into, go for it, man. If you want to take an old project, bring it into 4.4, and then goof around with some of their new tool sets, that'd probably be worth it just for the learning experience. But they have a lot of new things going on in 4.4 that I saw. So the idea behind... Let me explain this process. The idea behind this is we do save character. Before we save the character, we ping out to anything that is... that cares to make some type of changes. Hey, the character the character files are about to be saved, right? And once that happens, they'll run save on themselves, which will update their serializable information. Then once we do that, the actual save process is going to fly off, the handle save, which is just going to go through the whole chain of things that need to be saved. And it will serialize that. And then with load, it's kind of the same thing, but in reverse. Basically, we load the information, repopulate the classes, and then after that, we give everything its information here. Now, I don't know if this is going to work proper, right? Because we probably want to have a on before load and on after load kind of situation. I was trying to conceptualize an arm wrestling. Inverse kinematics drove me nuts. I didn't even get far enough to figure out save states. IK. So you were doing 3D. Could you possibly have done it with bone mapping on 2D instead? Like if I had to make an arm wrestling game, and it was a 2D situation, if I had access to 2D characters instead, I would love to have gone, or would have loved to have done it with bone mapping instead. And then as far as pressures go, like who's winning, it would just be an animation. It wouldn't even be, I wouldn't let anything else control it. It would just be an animation, and it would be a simple float that would continuously increase in comparison to the other float that the player might be pressing. And it just, you'll get a number between, a normalized value between 0 and 1, or -1 to +1. -1 being whoever is on this side, +1 is whoever is on that side. That's how I would do it. I wouldn't actually let physics control anything there. That would be too much. That's not what it's intended for. No. And then if you really wanted something weird to happen, like if you just overwhelmed the opponent too fast, like the number was all the way to 1, and then you had like some other number that was tracking the amount of power that's differentiating, then, or like if you got to 1 super quick, then I would say you could do like you could turn on ragdoll on the model or the 2D character and just have them flail around and stuff like that and fly off the chair. All right, let's execute on this code and find out all the reasons why it doesn't work. Actually, first let's build our serializable dictionary. So we need to go to our entity manager. You just made me realize that I gave consultant. Like I never thought I'd be giving any type of consultants anyway. I'm still learning, man. But here, thanks for doing that. You made my day. Let's see. So we're going to be doing. So what we want to do is we want to convert this into a serialized dictionary. Okay. Let's see. So this is the dictionary that I had tried yesterday. I'm going to try it one more time. It works. It's just, okay. I think we're going to just delete all of this. I want to try something different. I'm going to comment all of this out. And we're going to get rid of this right here. We're going to introduce this again. Okay. So the idea here is we're going to try to keep this as simple as possible, right? And basically on before, so let's make this, let's give this some of the base functionalities for a dictionary. Okay, those are just some of the basic stuff that... And let's do public. There we go. Okay. We don't need the entire suite, so that's the reason why I just boxed it all out. We're just going to use the basic stuff. And then on... So this is a callback that's going to happen automatically once we call serialize on it. Right? Oh, sure. Let me go ahead and find you a role. I think I'm just not like the best when it comes to having set up the Discord, so give me a second. Antechamber. There you go. So now you should be able to see everything happening in the Discord. I'm not sure. It used to be that unless you had a role, you couldn't see anything. But I think I changed it. I'm not sure. Sometimes I think I do things and then find out I didn't. So after we deserialize, we need to give back the dictionary its information. So dictionary. All right. Well, glad to have you join, man. Thank you. Interesting. I think we have to do it this way. First, we need to initialize, make sure we initialize a dictionary. So let's do dictionary equal to new dictionary. And we're going to take the minimum math f min keys count versus the values that count. Then we do a for iteration. That's the easiest way to handle. If oh, we already did that. If there we go. A nice little pattern right there if you wanted to just jack it. This is just the safest way to gear back up a list back into a dictionary if you ever need to do that. Alright, and then on deserialization, or rather on before serialization, just need to clear both and then just do for pair and dictionary. And then we just add in we add back the pair. There we go. That should work. This should work as a serialized dictionary. Let's go back and test this and check to see if we're still getting squiggly lines on the manager. Close this. Entity manager. Close a couple things. Okay. All right. Nice. Yes, it does. Or I get value. Oh, whoops. Awesome. Okay. So we've now made a serializable dictionary. Right? We just need to mark this off as system. Oh, wait. Now, it's important to note that this could, about a year and a half ago, this actually confused me. This doesn't make, so serialization onto the editor in Unity does not work for dictionaries, period. So this will not reveal a dictionary. Like, it will, sort of. Like, if I go here and show it now, but it's not useful the way a dictionary would be, because I don't have, like, I could do something. Let's do that. Can I do this? I don't think. No, we don't have access to unvalidate. So we could tie it in, but yeah. It's just a Poco. So on the, where's Unity? Fix this. We can get rid of this. Oh, I believe we have it on our managers. Check over here. Entity. Do I have it? Right. You don't have it here. We'll just add it. Okay, yeah, so it'll reveal itself like this. Alright, which is meaningless, really. Yeah, I can't do anything with it. Right? And part of the reason for that is because we're using this. These are called generics. Delete all of this stuff now. Huh. Hey, Nepal, how you doing, man? That was a quick vacation. I think that was like what? Man, time flies, bro. It's already Tuesday, right? So that was still a very quick vacation. How was it? But here's a neat little trick you can do in C# in order to expose the properties of a class, and so that way it treats the class like a variable or like a dictionary. So we do public, right? And then we just do a this. And I think you could do this in Godot also. I think I've done it in Godot. Right? So now what this allows me to do is I can go like this now. Entity manager. So let's just like do something here. Doesn't matter where. So I can do something like entities. I could do something like that. I think you said it right the first time, Kings. Oh, was that a slip? Um, I like talking about politics, pop culture, events. To be honest, it's something I went for a long time. What's your channel? Unless it's that is your what's your channel? Unless yeah, I think yeah, Nepal. That is he posts under his channel name. So you can click his name and it'll lead you right to his channel. Okay. Something went wrong there though. I mean, it worked. It's just that it's supposed to do something more than that. Hmm. There we go. You know, it's almost at this point that I'm thinking I should just re-implement the interface. Like, I'm almost there as is. I just don't want to go all the way. That up. Needlessly, because we're making changes. First news subscriber. There you go, Netball. Also, yeah, if there is something trending that I didn't cover, please let me know. Thank you. I'm trying to grow my channel too, but I'm having an identity crisis. Let's check out your channel. I think it's been a while, right? King's Move. Social Club. Peak arm wrestling requires more leg pulling than anything else. Yeah, this is a whole bunch of stuff I did not expect to find. You live stream? Oh, shorts. You have one short. Looks like you have literally everything here that you could imagine. This is the miscellaneous channel. For sure. I see Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson face study. Then a music video with Tupac Shakur. Johnny Rotten. So some music related. Then photo manipulation. Pretty cool. It's kind of creepy, I'm not gonna lie. Zombification. Yeah, definitely creepy, dude. But still pretty cool. Nuka Lemonade is P. Is that true? Oh, it's a music video. Okay. That would have made a lot of sense. Alright, gotta get going. I won't stream tonight, but I'll release another video tonight on the current news. Need to see what is being covered first. See you later. It's been a few things over the years. Gamer things, art portfolio, men's coaching. Now I'm sort of doing content for fun, maybe. Yeah, that was before AI became mainstream. It was the first era of it. Oh yeah, it is from a while ago. So you took the girl from, it looks like you took the girl from the bottom left in Zombie Fighter, which is pretty cool. Awesome. I'll subscribe. Alright, let's get back to work. As soon as I find my IDE. There we go. Okay. Really? Hold on 1 second. Let's try this one. I'm kind of scared to try it, but I'm gonna try one. You know what? Let's try the Nuka-Cola is P. I think that's going to be the worst one that I could possibly click with the potential for words that YouTube might not like. So let's try it out. Yeah, it led where I thought it was going to lead. I'm okay with it though. Just to hide the taste. And there's some stuff I've bumped into on YouTube recently that's like, holy cow! Like this is on YouTube. Like this is like throwback YouTube, and I'm seeing it again pop up. Like on some, like back in the day, YouTube used to be reckless, and so I'm starting to see some reckless stuff come up again. It's just hilarious. Like like everything stopped being savage for a while, but now it's savage again. So I'm here for it. Like, as long as as long as it's in humor, but I actually have a song. This is one song that I worked on for this game. Well, not this game, but it was for a previous game. Sound up? I can't tell the sound volume without actually opening up OBS. That's super. Silent streams where shadows fall. Hope remains in yeah, my headphones are really loud, but then the ancient night, we rise and fall with time. Echoes of the past still call. Through endless night, we sing light. So on my headphones, regardless of what the sound is, that pushes through, completely different. I've always tried to get a balance there. Yeah, it's awesome. Alright, let's go back to hidden truths beneath the sky. Fates collide as darkness looms. In dark times where hope resides, destinies collide. Sometimes you just need to hear, like, music is good for inspiration for the most part, I think, for me. Right, like, when I hear, especially, like, art, just generally, music or visual stimulus is good enough to get me back into the groove of finishing a project up. Because, like, when I see that part is finished, I think I picked it up from doing game jams. Like, I do the jam, and then it's like I have to get my side of the jam done now, because the artist got what they're doing, or the sound guy got what they're doing done. It's a good motivator. And you can just listen to the song and you go like, oh, this sounds awesome. I wish there was a game behind this. Then you make the game. So yeah. So I was showing before that this doesn't realize out. Go back to the eye. Okay, I think we're actually done with this. I think it will serialize. There's a quick way to test if this is going to serialize or not. So let's go down to, we need to test this out before we commit to it. So let's do that. So we're going to do serialize. Okay. You need to think about this one more time. Alright, so let's do this. There's a cleaner way I could have approached that, but it is what it is. Turn this into a float. So we're going to just disable this for right now. So we're going to go into the game, and what should happen is... Let's actually mark off. So now, what should happen is we're going to right-click a couple of times, and it's going to handle the accumulation of it. Then we're going to middle-click, and it should show us a string that contains the information inside of the stick. Let's try it out. There it is. Alright, let's try it out. It's going to show up in the console. Or it should. I have no confidence in this. I hope I don't end up wasting my entire day just like poking at this pointlessly. I'm pretty sure it won't work, but so we're right-clicking a couple of times. Click. Did it work? It looks like it worked. There it is. It worked. We now have a serialized dictionary. Holy cow. that frees us up so much. It never works the first time. Okay, that was... Holy cow. Jeez Louise, that was great. There has to be a catch. I'm waiting. There is a catch to this. That works. Okay. Get rid of all of this. That worked. Holy. Oh, okay. That was a hurdle. We just jumped it. Let's move on. So we go back to the entity manager. Entity manager serialize various entities inside of it. That's it. So next we have to need to handle this registration. So typically in like we were talking about with like Arkham Asylum and so on, you'd have something like this, where NPCs are responsible for registering them, or entities responsible for registering them. So basically, when a registration happens, we just do pretty simple. We just do. Actually, let's get rid of this because I don't like it.
Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't
Right.
turn back now. You know that there's
That's typically all that really needs to happen.
no we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise.
This is not a legit hash code. This is unique to what I'm creating, which is what is created, a serialized GUID. It is a 16-bit, 32-bit value that is an integer that is unique to each serialized. But each one of these entities comes with their own integer here, right? And since now we know that we can serialize and deserialize it, well, we know that we can serialize. We know that we can. I don't know about deserialization. We know that we can serialize and it stores the information properly. I have faith in what Unity's documentation says right now, that deserialization should work fine. . Because I haven't done this in years. Like, hard to remember.
There must be something in the water. There must be something in the air.
But yeah, if you're going to be doing that arm wrestling game, the easiest thing in the world for you to do would probably be to forego the whole kinematic thing. Because there's no real benefit to doing that I could think of, that animations, unless you just want to have, like, if you make the game so that they're, like, I could understand kinematic if you were making an augmented reality or VR game, right? Because then, like, the player just needs to have a lot of different controls going on there. But if you're just dealing with 2.5D and you have a 2D character, kinematic might be overkill. Right? Because then what you could do in order to, like, if what you're trying to get towards is like unique looking animations, you can use Unity's, or sorry, Godot. I don't know if they have this. So you might have to make your own. But you should be able to just make a animation overrider in Godot, which will just play through various animations based on what the gauge's power is like. And then if the power is a certain way, then you can transition over, or what's called a crossfade over to the next animation. I don't like, the one thing I don't like about Godot is its animator. For 2D, its animator is very easy. 3D, I'm not sold. I hear you. You're gonna do it in Godot? Or rather, GD script? So we want to track the player's number. Let's do integer player ID. Or actually, weird. Why is it not coming up? That's so weird. Why didn't it come up? Oh, serializable. There it is. Okay, so now we need a method. Well, actually, this might be the goal of today is to make stats and a stat tree, not to have a character creation system. So I think we're done here. To go any further, so we just need to test that we are going through the process, right? So we're going to start the game. We're going to register entity inside into the entity manager. Then we're going to save the game. And once we do that, Once we save the game, it's going to load save information into the console to find out what was saved. That's the plan. So let's go down to the entity level real quick. Alright, let's go back out here real quick. I'm going to just call entity enable. Enable is going to register this entity. This is all, that was all for testing. We need someplace. So this is going to no longer be like this. Whenever we middle click, we'll do save game. Or what's it called? Game save? What did I name it? Game file? Save system. Save system. Dot save character. I guess we will make a new tool. Need to make this protected, I believe. Oh no, it's public. I don't think we need .json. I don't think we need .json. Sure we don't. I think it knows to add .json.
You control me. Guilty self-affliction. Prey on me when I'm lonely. And I'm your willing victim. My friends already told me, but I don't wanna listen. 'Cause I love the way you hold me. And I don't need a reason.
It just says, it does say .json, the document. Check one more time. I thought you didn't need to put .json at the end. Check file. File right. Oh gosh. IDE is like super stagnant. There we go. So we need to do file. Oh brother. So we're doing Right, all text. Wait, isn't there another one? Wait. Oh. Okay, nah. Fine. I was misremembering. I sworn there was one for binary. Oh, there is. File write all bits. File write all. So this is the thing. I typed in file write all text and it gives me everything but file write all. Yep, it didn't. That's why I really. The one thing I gotta give Ditto over Unity, especially, is that documentation is so much easier than ever. In editor, the website is just about as bad as Unity. Like, it's easier to use Google to lead you to the place in Unity's documentation. Okay, so I forget. I think we're using System.io. Yeah, we are. It all text. You know what? It doesn't hurt. Let's do it this way. It's fine. We're gonna do it with the .json. So when we make this, it's going to create path here. Let's go to the entity. So entity is going to do that, and all we have to do is pass through the file. Okay. Follow the path. We do save. Character. Where is it? Where are you? Save character. Okay, so now we're going to be adding in stuff here. So we're going to do load. Rather, we're going to do load. We're going to pass in character. Okay. Then when we do load character, so we need to do a debug.log on the JSON. All right, let's see if this works. See, years ago, hold on. I'd allow the guy to use whatever they wanted. Years ago, I went into it blind, so I learned something. Didn't feel comfortable hiring anyone with experience. I feel you. From where I am, it's basically, I came at it knowing that solo dev was basically impossible mode, but I dived myself into it. So I kind of forced myself to have to contend with each issue and go through the learning pain. So I did a little bit of sound work, a little bit of artwork, a little bit of game dev, a little bit of programming, and I just let myself just get inclined into which ones I felt stronger with, and just worked on those more. Right? Like, I can say that I can open Blender and not be completely overwhelmed, which is a thing that happens no matter what. But I will get annoyed still at like a 30-minute Blender tutorial. Especially when it's a 30-minute Blender tutorial where they hyperspeed it. It's like, and the hardest part about Blender isn't even Blender. What you're doing in Blender, it's let's do this. Value cannot be null. Okay.
Don't forget about me and all the things I could give to you, baby. But I guess you
What did I miss? I think I messed up something. Character file. Alright, let's just walk through it step by step, find out where we get in this. According to this, the path was null. Let's just find out what's going on with it. What is it talking about? Safe path null?
I was lost, but you helped me find my way. Tainted by a desire, 'cause I was scared to face the truth. You pulled me out from my anxiety. You took away the lies I've been telling myself. You took away the fear I've been hiding away. You took away my insecurities. Now I feel so naked when you're near. You created a world so I can see all the truth. You created a world so I can be my everything. You created a world so I can love you with my all. Now with you I feel so different and alive once more. You created a world so I can see
So, yeah, once you develop the experience into like each one, especially when you do game jams, you kind of get a sense of where you are, and that also gives, or at least it gave me, a stronger understanding of where people who are really comfortable in a certain space are relative to me. So there's a great artist that I worked with, and I worked with him several times for certain game jams. And I could do the same art he does, but there's a big difference. Mine would look probably noticeably worse. It looked like programmer art in a way. But beyond just the quality, there's two other factors, right? He would struggle far less, which means that the work would be done in a fraction of the time it would take me to do the same work. And because it's so easy for him, he can be more creative with the final product. Okay. Could not find the path, application data. I see. Okay, so there is a way. Godot does it also. There is a way to handle this. I think I know what's happening. You need a directory. Create. Get. Trying to remember that directory. Oh, there it is. Get directory name. Then if directory, if it doesn't exist, absolutely. He was extraordinarily, or he is extraordinarily fast and extraordinarily competent. But I think, I mean, like, you know, if you have an idea, you can pitch the idea on Discord. I'll take a look. If I feel comfortable with being able, like, if I read through your idea and I think this is something that I could do with you, you just need to work on like a timetable at that point. But I like to second guess my own abilities. So if it feels like it's outside of my, you know, like just if I don't think I have the capability of doing it, I'll let you know real quick. But I'm down for whatever. I'll treat it like a jam. Directory. For me, it's just more experience under the belt. Okay, so that should fix that. Right, like if you have a design document already for whatever the project is, it was like an arm wrestling project. Feel free to let me know. I mean, I could go over with you if you're. I mean, you sound like as if you're pretty familiar already with like how 2D art is handled. But I can go over with you how. So this is the problem with like that previous artist that I had mentioned, and a lot of artists that I've had to work with game dev. They have a very strong understanding of their art. Even audio guys are like this, but they have a very weak understanding of the engine. So what that does for me as the programmer is it doesn't work very well. That concept doesn't work very well in game jams. But in actual projects, it's fine because as the programmer or programmer slash game dev, I'm very familiar with the engines that I work on typically. I love designing utility stuff for folks in Godot, but in Unity they make it's so much code because you have to do a whole lot of editor scripting to serialize information onto. But before that, simplifying the workflow for non-programmers and non-game devs is something that just comes with the territory. Right? So a lot of my stuff I spent my early time working. I don't do it as often now because it just saves me time not to do it because I'm working by myself. But whenever I work with someone, I always have to code twice. Once is for me, or rather, once is for the game, the other one is for the non-coder. So instead of them having to go to me and say, hey, I need you have the character animation look like this, and so you have to code that in, I'd usually just make like a scriptable object, show them how to drag and drop that object onto the character, and then say if you want to change the animations, just swap them out in this object. Right? And it just basically be like that. But a lot of times you can't do that in game jams because you only have like 4 days, 3 days. So you can't like make that whole suite for them and then have them say, oh, I don't know how to do this. So it ends up being that the programmer ends up becoming also the game developer, which is what happens in most cases. I think this is going to work. I'm not sure though. We're going to find out right now. If Unity, it should work. In Godot, you have to do a little bit extra work on the string to like chop the string up and then put it back together. But I think it should work here. But yeah, if you have like an idea, if you feel confident in it, as long as it's not like too grand, like I don't want to spend more than like 2 months at most on a project that's not like on my main project. I'm doing these for reasons, right? Like I want to learn from what I'm doing, and it's pushing me into the direction that's testing out what I do. Okay. So invest. All right, error. Hey. Okay. We got to game saved. Now we got errors over here, but we did get to game saved. Okay. All right, so before we do this, go here and find out what we're saving. There we go. So we're still just testing out what Unity's serialization is doing. It should serial. We've tested out at a smaller level that the serialized dictionary is working. Now I want to see um, if how it handles inheritance. Okay. Interesting. So it did read Entity Manager instance. But it didn't read anything in Entity Manager. Find out what's going on there. So I think what we want to do is, where's Entity Manager? We want to do this. You need to make it a wrapper. Entity Manager data.
I used to be so innocent. All the things that happened have changed me. Internally, have changed me. And somehow you taught in all of those I placed to keep me safe from going insane. So how do you
Okay, I think that's it.
fall asleep after the things you said to me, after the things you made me feel? The night goes on and on. The night goes on and on.
Okay, there, done.
I used to be so incomplete. I used to fear so many things, but now I'm undeniable, recognizable. I used to think I had to be different. All I had to do was listen to the voice within.
I'm confused. I'm confused myself. Brother, where do I go with this? We have the entities here. Entity Manager is going to be. He doesn't want to add the. Okay. Just testing things out. Okay, so we need to go back to the character file. Oh, that's why. Okay, we were dummies. That's. We're dummies. That's short answer. That is the short answer to it. Okay. But the question is why? It's because we're dummies. So let's where do I create it? I created it over here. There we go. Now let's test this out. We forgot to assign the entity map. Go figure. Why is it reading the entity manager as empty? Because we didn't assign one. That's what I mean. Like you could easily. That's a deception of coding. You could easily just jump down the wrong rabbit hole. All right, let's see if that fixed it. Yep, there we go. Okay, awesome. We're getting closer. Now, in the entity manager, it did not read this. So let's check to see if we're actually getting anything in here. I got my bottle of water. Almost finished. It means it's probably getting close to time for a ditch. It means that I'm going to call it a day at that point. I might work on this off screen a bit later, I'm not sure. Okay, so it did add the player. We're right clicking a whole bunch. It'll click and where is it saving it? Gotta look for the put it in the path. Could be like in local low or something. Because it could be that the console is just not showing everything. But I just want to double check. Where the heck? Wrong area.
Just let it be. Come on and bring your body next to me. I'll take you away. Yeah, turn this place into a private getaway. So leave it behind, 'cause we got a night to get away. So come on, fly with me as we make a great escape. Not only run away, baby, don't worry. You're my only. You won't be lonely, even if the sky is falling down. You'll be my only. No need to worry.
Something is here,
Baby, are you down, down, down?
and it just loads the. Interesting. We need to think about this differently. We need to think about this differently. I have a suspicion that the problem is there is a call that Unity has. What is it? Face on.
Setting fire to it all. You know these flames ain't going out. This building is crumbling to the ground. Don't think that we can stop it now. 'Cause baby, our love is gonna burn it down.
Interesting.
These flames ain't going out. This building is crumbling to the ground.
All right, let's try doing it slightly differently. Where is it? Unity Manager. Yeah, we're going to handle this differently. So we're going to key in. Remember that event system that I had set up before? We're going to utilize that. So let's implement iSaveable. Nice. No, can't do that. That'd have been awesome.
I've had a little bit too much. All of the people start to rush by. A daisy twisted dance, can't find my drink, I'm in. Where are my keys? I lost my phone. What's going on with the love this record, baby? But I can't see straight anymore. Keep it cool. What's the name of this club? I can't remember, but it's alright, alright. Just dance, gonna be okay. Da-da-doo, just dance. When that record, babe. Da-da-doo, just dance, gonna be okay. Da-da-da-da, dance, dance, dance. Just dance. I can't remember, but it's alright, alright. Just dance, gonna be okay. Da-da-da, dance, dance, dance.
There we go. Out. Done.
Wish I could shut my Playboy mouth.
Alright, so now
My shirt inside out, right. Control your poison, babe. Roses and thorns, they
when we do a load, it should just be alright. You probably didn't need to put that last part in, but why not? If we're gonna bump into that error down the road, might as well bump into it now. What's this now? Okay, so now we don't need that. This is going to be populated when we call serialization. Alright, let's see if this works. I feel like we have an error. But
if I should stay or be alone,
we're kind of just working around
won't you
the
make
issue
up your mind?
that I ran into
'Cause I'm
my,
getting tired
the way I would have like
of
approached
overthinking
it.
every move you make.
Alright, let's try it now.
And I can help you decide who you're loving now, and how I'm not quite there somehow. My intuition says to give you up, but my heart can't easily let you go.
Right clicking. Click. Not sure what that's. Oh, I see. Okay. This is bizarre. Well, it stored the GUID properly. I think.
I'm just waiting for the fight, but you won't even try to survive you.
Okay. So we're getting there. The next step is
who you're loving now, and how I'm not quite there somehow.
the next step is
My intuition says to give you up, but my heart can't easily let you go.
sorry. The next step is
But I hate that I never really know if I should stay or be alone. If I should stay or be alone.
the next step is JSON.
If I should stay or be alone. I don't wanna be alone tonight. I'm just hoping
That's a very weird situation happening.
and I hate that I never really know if I should stay or be alone.
So let's check this real. We know that it says that it added the player. So we need to do a check on that after it adds the player, make sure that it actually is added. Well, no, we know that it actually... We know that the problem isn't with the serialization. Can't be, because it was working when we did it at the lower level. And we haven't changed any of the code in that class. So, like I said, I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. It's dropping. So let's go over here. We just need to check. No, entity manager. We need to check. So, entities. It's entities. Ow. Eyes. Did we not? We didn't implement that.
for tonight. For tonight, I'll keep praying, even though my heart can't take it. For tonight, I'll never stop, no, see to the end. For I never thought the day would come so soon, but then it would. We go through life taking for granted what we already have. I'll always love you and keep you in my heart. Even if you are not around, I'll keep you safe in memories for tonight.
So confused. We're only going to know when we run this, right? So let's run it. That's the only thing that's going to tell us for sure.
Dying to change, trying to undo the pain. Habits you're trying to break, but they don't ever let you escape. Ain't no way.
All right, let's try this.
Can't get out your own way.
This is just debugging to try to find out what the heck is going on under the hood. Okay, so it is adding the player. We just want to find out how many things are being added onto the serialized dictionary. Okay, so we know that it was 0 and was added. Oh! Okay. We need to do this. Oops. 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 I was going to do it, and then it escaped my mind. And I moved on to other things. There we go. Thank goodness I didn't go too far down the rabbit hole in the serialized dictionary to try to find out what the problem was. Fortunately, that debug log saved a life. All right.
Some days I'm not myself. There's no one I can turn to. And I know all the feelings that we shared.
All right, let's try it now. Right clicking.
And I know your relationships are never meant to last. It might take some time, but I'll be alright. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I know times are
I have no clue what that's about. So entities, keys. I have no clue. Oh, it didn't serialize something. What? I'm so confused. Oh, it serialized the key, but not the value. Why not? Did I not? Pretty sure. One sec. It could be that I just forgot to put serializable on. What's there? System serializable. These also have system serializable.
There's no one I can turn to. And I know all the feelings that we share
I think it's these. You can't serialize these because they have the getter setters. Alright, let's get rid of them. We'll figure something else out. Hold on.
Hold tight, I've been right where you're standing. Just hold tight to me. The world tries to be you and leave you lonely, but there's light you see. 'Cause now I know we are thinking bullets, thinking breaks, thinking throw our bones away. Call me by another name, but I'm a champion.
Okay, nothing else we really care about serializing. Okay, so now we should be able to serialize these properly. Try it again. The learning process. So we should now see the information inside of Stat Tracker. That's the goal. What the heck is going on here? It's storing the GUID. It looks like it's storing entities, keys. And then it stores... One sec, what am I reading? GUID is the next one. Okay. So, entities is not according to this, but it's saying that it did add something with a character in it. So let's look at serialized. I feel like I should take a break. I'm gonna try to push through this. Okay. So first we're gonna test entity out one more time. We're gonna get rid of this stuff, and we're gonna turn this back on. Oh, actually, we're gonna turn our stats. Okay. We just need to see what this turns into. This should turn into food test 1 in... Oh, wait. Actually, we can actually just do a quick test on this. Well, first let's test this and see what we got. Oh! I think I found out what the... Always something so dumb, bro. It's crazy. Oh, where is it? It's in a... It should be... No, we gotta get out of this. It should be in our awake. Over here. Oh no, we did it right. Yeah, we did it right. We did it right there. Alright, let's test it out. Let's see what happens. Right click a bunch of times and then it'll click. Yeah. Okay. There we go. It worked. Okay, we're going to change this and we're just going to pass in this. See what it does. This class is system serializable. And Do this. Sounds like are at the that. Okay, there we go. So it should read the entity and then read that class. There. So it read the ID, it read foo test, and it got the values from. Interesting. There, oh, prime. Yep. Okay. Nice. Okay. So then let's try that again, but we're going to go up a step from this to the entity manager instance. Oh, wait, no. We don't want the entity manager. Oh. Well, let's just try the entity manager instance and see what happens. Because this wasn't working a second ago. Let's see if it works now. Because we might not need that data transfer if that's the case. So now we're going to right click a bunch of times. Cool. Interesting. So it has a problem with Poco. Basically, it can pick up on objects, but it won't pick up on values that are serializable. Interesting. That's going to require some research. We're going to actually call it here, I think. Thank you very much for joining. Kings, if you're still there, thank you very much for joining. Hit me up on Discord. I would love to hear your idea. See what it's about. If I feel like I have the tool set to do that, then at least as just a learning experience, it would be good. Alright. Let's call it there. I'm going to definitely be doing some research on this. I'm just not I'm not heavily invested right now in completing this system. But once it's done, like I feel confident enough to say that we're on the right track. I just need to iron out the serialized dictionary. And that should be it. I feel like I shouldn't have to do this though, right? Because part of my mind is saying, hey, you do already have a serialized dictionary as part of Odin Inspector for Odin serialization. So maybe I just need to check my installation of Odin, but I'm 100% sure Odin has a serialized dictionary. Just need to figure that out. Alright. Take care.